this week. It has been kind of a crazy week. We are getting closer to the baby being born, and so we are just having
5 weeks.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I feel like we should start taking bets to see who thinks he's gonna come early.
I know. Well, we know he's gonna be a boy, so we can't bet on that. Eye color?
No, I feel like we should take a bet to see. Do you think he's gonna come on his due date, or do you think he's gonna come early?
What do you want?
I want him to come early, but only like by 2 weeks. I want to be like 38 weeks, just in case he's like the perfect weight size, like 6 pounds, 2 ounces. Because I don't want him.
Because he'll never live it down if he's a big baby. Anyways, but so if you guys remember, we took a little break, but we ended with talking about how we kind of officially got dating,
Wait. You forgot something.
What?
What did we say we were going to do last week after we lost our game?
Oh, I don't remember that.
We said we were going to tell an embarrassing story.
Did we?
Please, no! 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 No!
Yeah, and because, I'm such a giving and loving and patient person, thoughtful, I feel like you should go first.
Okay, embarrassing story. There's like little ones, but one that stands out to me. This isn't me. Well, it's kind of like me embarrassing myself. It involves my brother Luke. My brother Luke would love to put me in very awkward situations. Okay, awkward situations. Now, obviously, kids ministry, I got plenty of embarrassing things, but this one for me, I look back at being the most like cringy stuff. My brother Luke, when I was about 14 years old, I was very, very shy around girls. Very shy. And so Luke would make it his life mission to make me embarrassed, let's just say. So we would go into a Subway, and there'd be a girl about, high school age working behind the counter, and Luke would be like, "Oh, you're cute. Are you single?" I'm just like, I'm in the back just like this, and he's like, "My brother's single. He needs a girlfriend." And I'll just pick Luke, and I'd go and I couldn't even look at the girl in the eye. So I'd be like, "I want a sourdough ham." And it's like, "Luke, stop it." He's like, okay, I'll stop it. 2 weeks later, we'd be at pizza, and he's like, I'm looking for a sister-in-law. I'm taking applications. You want to fill one out? And just constantly. So my high school years were filled with Luke just embarrassing me so much. So it wasn't me embarrassing myself, but I just remember that as a core memory with my brother and just being so embarrassing. So does that count?
I'll let it count because you're cute. So, but I probably would have did the one with you in the egg outfit.
We already told that one.
I know, but it was very embarrassing. I would never be.
We don't have any pictures either.
I know.
So what is your embarrassing memory?
Well, I feel like I don't embarrass quite easily. I feel like I have
can embarrass you.
Yeah. I think I have 2, but I think the one that I'm going to do, no one has heard except for my mom and my sister because they were there. So I'm pregnant, right? And I was probably in my 2nd trimester, I want to say. And we were talking about something, my mom and my sister and I just started laughing. We were just laughing or whatever. And then the next thing I know, I'm feeling something wet on my legs. And it turned out that, when you're pregnant, apparently you have no control over anything, and I peed on myself. I'm 28 years old and I peed on myself, and I was just embarrassed to a point where I literally had to change my pants.
Was this in public or was it at home?
Luckily it was at my parents' place.
Okay.
So I just put on my sister's clothes that I could fit or whatever.
How old were you the last time that you wet the bed when you were growing up? What was the last time you wet the bed growing up?
I don't know. I feel like I probably wet the bed at a very, older age because I was a very lazy sleeper.
You'd feel like you had to pee and then just keep sleeping.
I have had moments where it was up until my teens, and then I was all right, Shantae, you gotta get out.
I think I was 8. I feel like I had that stretch of being good, and then something happened where and I woke up and I was oh. I bundled it up and threw it in so my parents wouldn't find out. So I don't know.
You cut me off, but that's fine.
I'm sorry.
Why would you do that? Why would you do any of that?
Don't feel bad. I'm so used to it. This is what he does when he gets excited. So let's change the subject. So, as you know, we've been talking about our relationship, and we are moving on with that as far as like a little bit more about the seriousness, our closeness, how it all kind of happened to the point where we got married. I don't have my rings on because my fingers are fat, but Caleb has his on. And he's trying not to talk right now so he doesn't talk over me. But we figured out like there was 4 core things in our relationship that really helped us progress from being boyfriend and girlfriends to being engaged and now being happily married. And the 4 things are trust, respect, support, and fun. And I don't know if you're raising your hand. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to work on my interrupting because I do get excited. So I'm sorry.
He does.
Anyways.
And it really doesn't
It makes
bother
me
me
feel
anymore.
It makes me feel bad. You can kiss me any other time. Okay. Anyways, what we were thinking about is that as we, like, everyone has a story about how you got a big.
Yeah, I got it.
Everyone has a story about how they get into, like, start their relationship. But once you get in a relationship, I mean, most people have like the same progression. Like you know, you get into a relationship, you're still getting to know each other better, you're opening up. But these are just some things that we were thinking, like, these were very core things that helped us develop and get to the point where we would get engaged, which that's another thing later. So if you remember, we ended the last relationship discussion with how we got back together. We had Shantae wrote that amazing note and had a gift, and we got together for coffee. We should really talk to like Starbucks about sponsoring us down the road. When we're like big and we have like millions of viewers, you know. That's not where we're going with this. But anyways, so that's how it ended. We started hanging out some more. We went skating. We met up. We actually went to some friends of ours, a wedding, and without even talking ahead of time, we matched. And
our
I remember,
clothes.
I know we were both wearing blue.
Yeah. Also, everyone for some reason thought Caleb was the one that was messing up this whole like us getting together. When in actuality, it was me. But you know what? I just kind of let that be a thing. Yeah, he was so innocent and sweet and patient, and I was just trying to get my life together for some odd reason.
Which leads us into our story.
Trust.
Number 1.
Yes. So it took a lot. I like to have my walls up. I'm not like that anymore, but I was very much like that where I would just keep my walls up. And one of the things that I had to like do was start trusting Caleb. And it would be like little things. Like I would tell him something and see if it would get back to anyone else, or just kind of confiding in him. And he's always just like a man of wisdom is what I like to call him. It's just, you know, whether it's like, you know, maybe you should go talk to this person or pray about something or do something. I was able to really confide in him in a lot of those things. And so with that, I was able to trust him, not just with my heart, but like with things that were going on in my life. And knowing that he's a man of God and knowing that he also just prays, Yeah.
I do praise.
Yeah, pray. I can't speak. I'm like congested.
It's the same word, praise and praise. They're the same.
I know, but it sounds different because I'm so congested. But and he prays that I was able to just like let my guard down and know that like I can trust him with, you know, certain things that was going on. Like I had family issues going on, and I felt like I couldn't talk to anyone about it, but I could talk to him. And it wasn't like I confided in him like I would confide in him now. I definitely still had my guard up because I didn't ever want it to get to a point where I relied on him for that emotional support like I would now that we're married. I did, however, rely on him in a way that I can build that trust with him and see what kind of man he was and how that would help us in the future.
I think one of the big things about trust is that you have to really know yourself, like what you are feeling, what you're having sensitivities or things that you're feeling very uncomfortable about. So for me, one of the big things about establishing trust is, you know, open up about my own insecurities. And I think everybody has insecurities, and you have to recognize that about yourself to then be able to open up to people. And so that was one thing. I know another thing we mentioned was boundaries.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things about boundaries, and I tell this a lot to my students when I teach, is that boundaries aren't set up as a wall to necessarily keep you from things. Now they do, but a boundary is set up mostly to protect you.
Mhm.
And boundaries, a lot of it has to do, and this is going to get into, this is talking about respect. Because how am I going to respect Shantae if I'm not at the same time respecting myself, and
Right.
vice versa? And we're very open. We talk to a lot of people. I have students all the time who are asking me, like, they're shocked when they find out that we actually waited until we got married to have sex.
Yeah.
That's like this big shocker thing, which it saddens me, I think, that a lot of my students who grow up in Christian homes and go to church, that it's this thing like waiting to have sex is seen almost as like this something that like, it's like not even talked about anymore because that's so almost out of the picture. It's like,
yeah, like it's very old school, you
Yeah.
know?
and it's they whenever they hear about my heart and our heart about why we wait till we have, and that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
But it's ultimately about respecting Shantae, because if I don't respect her enough to want to wait until we have a more firm foundation, and then vice versa, I'm not going to open up in a way that I'm not comfortable with. One, it's biblical, but two, there's a foundation there because you want to commit, because you open up to yourself to that intimacy. You need that connection, you need that support.
Right.
And it comes down to respect, and that's boundaries physically, that's emotionally, knowing that we can respect each other and trust each other,
Yeah.
having conversations about race and stuff, because we know that we have a foundation of respect, very different backgrounds, but we have a common foundation of respect and
Right.
and going back again to trust. They all kind of build upon each other, and I think every great relationship, they all have things we work through, but I think that's a big thing.
And the third one being support.
Number 3.
So we've been very supportive to one another while we were dating because of things that have happened in our family, as well as just work related, just life. You know, things happen to where, you know, sometimes like, you know, you're not you don't feel like yourself. And so being support to one another was a really huge thing for us.
Mhm.
One of the biggest things was like I had a family member who was battling like suicidal thoughts, and it really like broke my heart to hear that because of how close we are, and I didn't know that they were going through these things, and to the point where like they had lost like a significant amount of weight and they were just like not doing too well. And like I just remember being in a car with Caleb and just like crying my like heart out and just being like, Lord, I don't know what's going on. I didn't even know this was something that they were dealing with. And him just being in the car with me and just like holding, you know, like hugging me. And then he just started praying over me. And I was like, one, I don't cry. I'm not a crier. Like,
Before this pregnancy, probably like 3 times.
yeah. And this was one of the 3.
Yes.
And so I'm not a big crier. You know, I show my emotions differently. I talk them out, or I'm really quiet, but I'm not a crier. So I was crying because I just didn't know what else to do in that moment. And then having Caleb there and not judging my family, not judging me, not judging like anything, just being there as a support, being there as someone that I can lean on was a really big moment for our relationship on my side, because it helped me also let my guard down and know like I can trust him with things that are very precious to me. And it was the same for him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, back when I mentioned it before, how when my brother passed away, this was in between when Shantae was just working at the church, and we were able to start talking more. I'd go up during my lunch break and talk, and be able to talk through emotions and just things that were going on. And so Shantae being there as a friend first, who was showing me that support, it created a foundation that I didn't have with anybody outside of my family and outside of very, very core close friends. And that's what helped to create that foundation of support. Support looks different for different people.
Yeah.
It could be support, and it comes back maybe also to what your love language is and how you personally are impacted by other people. But helping people to know that you support them, whatever that looks like, is super important. So if you're in a young relationship or looking to get in one, or you've been in a relationship a long time and you feel like maybe that's not something that you have as much, maybe talk to your significant other about it and be able to say,
definitely.
how can I support you? Being open about that. Because when Shantae, when she told me how a biggest way that I can support her is just to be there and to just actually let her know through my acts of service and through my words, I am here, I understand, I support you. that was the biggest thing for her.
Right. And one of his love languages is quality time.
Mhm.
So it kind of works out really well where we're supporting each other and meeting each other's needs in that way. If I we're both workaholics, but if I have something going on and it's like an event and I have to decorate and stuff like that, he's usually the first one to be like, okay, what do you need? Like, what do you need help with? Because one, we're getting our quality time, and two, we're getting the stuff, and we're getting it. You know, you made me forget what I was saying.
Quality time.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
acts
we're
of
not-
service, and so that's kind of how our relationship flourished. Was just like I would be busy or he would be busy, and we would do it together, and it would just give us both the quality time we need and the acts of service if it was more my job of doing something at that moment.
Yeah. I was just gonna say I don't think we're workaholics because I know workaholics who are like everything they do is about work and they'd rather be at work anywhere else.
That's not us.
We're not that. We just have a lot that
We're very
we
passionate
do.
about our work. Is
Yeah.
what it is.
Because why do a job if you're not going to do it right and well? Yeah, we just have fun, and that is a key to, I think, just friendship, relationship, everything. Is you have to be able to have fun. That doesn't mean
Definitely.
everything is laughs. You're finding moments and finding ways of having joy together.
Yeah, like last night I made him watch the play Cats. Look at his
We didn't even
face.
finish it. That's not a play. A play has a plot. A play has a plot.
Stop. We only got in like 30
I
minutes.
feel like that
of the
play Cats is a personality of a cat.
It's about cats. So it was just funny because like I literally could like sense that he was getting like done. You know how you could just tell people are like done? He was like done. And I was like, okay, we can watch something
We have
else.
2 hours left.
Right. And we put on Hamilton.
Now that's a play. But just having fun, and that comes down again, learning yourself, understanding
Yeah.
yourself and each other, because there's things that we like to do for fun that maybe you guys don't like, and we're learning how each other are different. Like I love board games, and Shantae, she's not necessarily as much into board games, so she
Yeah.
knows that I need times to go with some friends and play board games.
I say do it.
Yeah, she's
Oh,
like, hey, do it.
do
I mean,
it.
I'm making my own board game for crying out loud. Okay, I love board
But
games.
I actually like his board game. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna say like I don't play his board game. I like it. I actually find it very interesting, and like he's been tweaking it, and I've been helping him with it. I don't mind board games. With that being said, can I spend like 3 hours playing a board game? No, my attention span's like, okay, I want to go do
Fun.
something else.
So fun.
Only game I will say I do like playing board games with the Pattons. So shout out to the Pattons because you guys made me play a board game that I told him I would never play.
Settlers of Catan.
Yeah, it was actually
And you
really
actually
fun.
liked it.
Yeah,
So- But have fun, figure that out. What it is, it could be something as, and it's fun to plan fun things too. Like I remember planning Shantae's last birthday, and
yeah,
we went out for her birthday, and I surprised her with blueberry pancakes in the morning. I wrote her a song and had a bunch of stuff, and then I made up these little coffee rating sheets, and we went out to like 5 different coffee places in Sacramento.
Yeah.
And we literally went to each one and scored their basic like cold brew coffee as we went around. We were so wired.
Oh
by
my
the end
gosh,
of that.
we were
it was
like-
it was like driving. We got back. I was like, I need some
some
more
water.
food, water, food, take a break. But just have fun. I mean,
Yeah.
there's we're not telling necessarily the story of linearly how our dating life progressed. And it got to a point where Shantae went on a trip, and I hated her being gone, and I realized
Yeah, I was like,
I don't want her gone from my life ever.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, that means we have times we have to be separate, obviously.
Yeah. We
But I
like our
realized,
space.
yeah, and I realized when we had that space, like at some point, I want to marry this woman. And we'd already had these talks about like down the road, maybe sort of coulda, should.
Yeah, shoulda,
should
woulda,
I ask
kinda,
a question of
what
a very
that would
semi-serious,
look like.
very serious nature about a ring? Would you
Yeah.
kind of sort of maybe say yes?
And
If
I
you
would
follow
say,
along with that, good job.
If that did happen where you would, eventually, God willing, would want to ask for my hand in marriage, yeah, I would totally.
Yeah, sure.
know,
So we had
say-
that idea down, I guess.
Yeah.
But I think as we dated and stuff, and we got to know each other's family a little bit, and be able to experience just life together, get to know each other on definitely a more serious basis. You can probably guess which one of us said "I love you" first. Who do you think? you'll have to stick around. We'll tell you all about that later.
Yeah, it was like
Future
actually
episodes.
Cute story.
Yeah, that was a fun story. So, but just as you think about relationships, just as you want to build and grow, whatever stage you're at, just to encourage you guys to remember, a lot of it comes down to trust. It comes down to support and respect.
And fun.
And just having fun. I mean, obviously, and God is in and through all of those things. It's not like God's at the top and everything else. I think God has to be through everything that you do.
Definitely.
But you know what? I mean, because life can be really, really complicated. But by doing these things,
you can make it very simple at the same time.
And fun.
So that is our episode, and we are just so thankful that you guys stay tuned and listen to us. If you have any questions, we are 2 open books. So anything about our relationship that you guys want to know, you can comment them below, and we will answer them.
Yeah, so feel free to subscribe by clicking right here. And
if you want to watch any of our other videos, you can click right here.
Yeah.
Pregnancy brain is real.
And she's so beautiful.
I put makeup on.
She's wearing pink.
And I'm wearing pink. That's not a thing.
That's a new thing.
This is a very new thing. I think it's because I'm having a boy and I need to establish my dominance as a woman in the house. So I have to start wearing pink.
Because she's going to be outnumbered.
I will be outnumbered.
5 weeks.
Or sooner.
Take care, guys. We'll see you later.
Bye.